Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. LinkedIn Live, thank you as well for being here. We appreciate you. This is AI for Marketers, and we're AI User Group. For those of you who don't know, AI User Group is a community of professionals interested in the latest AI-powered tools and technologies and how they can be applied to our professional day-to-day. What's new, what's relevant, what are best practices, and that's why we're here. We have 3 audiences: marketers, designers, and developers, and we host 3 different meetups. This is AI for Marketers. What else? The agenda for tonight. First, we will hear from Pritika, then we'll hear from Harini, and then we'll hear from EJ. And at 8 o'clock, we'll have open mic announcements. So to kick off networking, if you'd like to make an announcement where I'm standing right now at 8 o'clock, it's a good way to introduce yourself before we have pizza at 8:05. So that's the agenda, just so you're aware. Doors close at 8:50. That's just so we can shut the place down and get it ready for tomorrow. What else? Call for speakers. We're always looking for great speakers here. We have AI tool creators present, but we also have users. So if any of you marketers want to come here and present, let me know. I just threw a couple ideas up on the board here. These are just some ideas. So if these interest you, great. If you have something else in mind, just get in touch with me. My email is jackson@aiusergroup.com. So take a look at this. We're currently scheduling for June 12th. So yeah, take a look and chat with me. What else? We're looking for a sponsorship sales person. So if someone can fill this role, if you're interested or you know someone who's interested, get in touch with Eileen. Eileen's email is up on the screen, eileen@bemyapp.com, and that's for sponsorship sales. So please let us know if you're interested or someone you know. And I think that is it for now. Let's get started. I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Pritika Mehta, co-founder of Butternut AI. The title of Pritika's talk is Building a Stunning Website in 20 Seconds Using AI. So please help me welcome Pritika.
Thank you for having me here, and I am super excited to meet you all and talk to you more about Butternut AI and what you are building in AI. So before I start, I want to know, how many of you are marketers here? Okay, and how many of you are coders? Okay, and since we live in SF, I'm sure at one point or the other, you have gone to a hackathon. So have you ever participated in a hackathon? Great, good to know that. You know what? The general notion about going to a hackathon is you must be a builder. That means you must be a coder. But this recent tweet by Vinod Khosla says otherwise, where in the age of AI, we don't really need coders right now. And at a recent coding event, at a recent coding hackathon, the winner was a marketer, not a coder. So this is what AI is doing. It is changing how the world used to behave. So now, this is what they are predicting, that there could be 1 billion programmers all programming in natural language. That means the day is not far where everybody of you in this room will be a coder by default, because you can just tell the system what you want, and it will build it for you, and you can iterate from there. In fact, the person who is bearing the weight of the entire stock market on his shoulders thinks so as well. So I'm the co-founder of Butternut AI. Butternut AI is a generative AI tool where you can build your websites in under 20 seconds with just prompts. So we are building the future of, you can say, coding, starting with websites. Well, before I show you what we have built, how many of you have built a website for yourself or for your client? And what did you use to build it? WordPress? What else? Okay. Notion? Okay, and how much time in general did it take you? I see somebody saying a lot. That's right, and how much did it cost you? Maybe a couple of $1,000s? That's what my friends have paid, like I was talking to somebody who paid $80,000 to get his startup website up. Well, not anymore. So let me show you what we are doing at Butternut AI. Well, you are the first people here to see our new version. This hasn't been launched yet. So if you go to butternut.ai, that's our previous version, but I would love to showcase you this newer version and get your feedback. So how about we build a website and see what our AI brings for you? So would anybody would like to try a business for their website? Like I see a hand raised. Yes. And tell me more about the business, maybe a few keywords.
Yeah, CRM
And phone?
phone system.
Phone system. Okay. Okay. Let's give it some instructions to generate. So as we all know, Rome wasn't built in a day, but your website will be ready in just a few seconds. So what we did was, we built our own AI model that could understand your business category and your target demography. We scraped over 500,000 websites across the internet to build our own model. Now let's see what it came up with. So it is still generating pages. So our own system will decide what kind of colors would go with your business niche and what are the pages which are required by your business. So let's see. Okay, so it built these key features. And if you don't like anything, you can always regenerate it, and our AI will regenerate it for you. Or if you don't like what it is generating and want to give a very specific instruction, you can give it to our AI. Let's say here we say laptop, or you want an image of a laptop. You say add, and it should generate it for you. Or if you want to upload something of your own, you can always do that. So this is the entire website that was built for you. These are some of the FAQs. And if you don't like what you see, you can always delete it. So the entire website is fully customizable. You can edit it. You can add item. Or you can add sections. The entire AI will build each and every section, each and every item for you. And you can always give your instruction to our AI to make it better. These are certain testimonials. So somebody really loved Savico. Okay. These are some of the stats. And it's just still generating pages. It built like a few pages like contact us, about us. So you can put your own pictures about your team, then a pricing page, which you might need. So if you don't like what you see, you can always go on regenerate and regenerate the entire website. So this is what we are building with Butternut AI. And so it takes like less than 20 seconds to build a website. And if you want to take it live, you just need to connect your domain name. You make some quick edits, and you just go ahead, connect your domain name, and your website will be live in just like 5 minutes and not 5 days or 50 days. So this is what we are building with Butternut AI. So this is what the problem we saw, that why even in 2024, building a website is still a daunting task. Why is it expensive? Why is it tough? Why is it slow? Nobody says, oh, wow, today I'm going to build a website. It's a delightful thing to do. Nobody. And we want to change that experience with Butternut AI, because finding skilled developers is a frustrating process. And my own friends, as I mentioned, they spent like thousands of dollars just to get a simple website made. Why? So we have all the intelligence in the world now to get it done for you with our AI model. And some people say, oh, you know what? My ChatGPT can do it. But no, they can't do it. They can just give you some code snippets, but cannot build an entire SEO optimized website for you. So, but making websites on Butternut is cheaper, faster, and less expensive. So let me tell you how we launched it and how it grew. So today we are standing at more than 200,000 users who have built on Butternut. And the story is quite funny on how we grew. So first of all, when we started building, we knew this is a huge problem because I face this problem a lot in my life, and I knew the market is huge. But it was like, okay, once I started building, I wanted to understand if I'm going in the right direction or not. If what I'm building is what customers want. So I remember it was like 8:30 at night where I put up this tweet where I say, hey, I built this AI-powered website builder, Butternut AI. Why don't you try it out and give me your feedback? Honestly, I was expecting like 30, 40 people would try it out and give me some genuine feedback. But you know what? The tweet blew up. We got close to 1 million impressions, and our servers crashed because we were on the free tier of AWS. And honestly, you know what? People often say, oh, are you an influencer? But no, never ever in my life I had gotten more than 5 likes on my tweet. And honestly, all those people were my just friends. So this blew up, actually, this tweet, and people started building different sorts of websites, and it gives us so much of insight on what people want in this world. And within 48 hours, we also launched on Product Hunt, and we became one of the top products in the AI category, or the top products on Product Hunt. So this is our journey, how we started. We thought of a problem which we faced ourselves, and we saw other people also facing the same problem, and we built an MVP, and just launched it out in the world to see how it goes, if there are some real takers or not. And it worked. And then now we have spent a couple of last months to build the entire platform. Now, I see a lot of people here or in the world, we all want to leverage AI because this is the revolution we are sitting in. And especially, when we are sitting in SF, which is the epicenter of this AI revolution, I mean, we all have the opportunity to become the creator rather than just a consumer of AI. So how can all of us take leverage of this AI that's happening around us all the time? So first of all, I would say you should go and try each and every tool. It could be a tool that is used maybe in digital marketing or in any area. You should go and try each and every tool. There are thousands of tools that are coming every day. And try them out. See if they are solving a pain point. See if you can do something better. It will give you so many ideas. Because when we start building something, we always think, oh, I need to build something so innovative, something so sexy, so new. But honestly, when you are building a startup, if you're doing something that is only better than the existing solution, you're going to do great. Uber wasn't the first car sharing app, or Airbnb wasn't the first vacation rental, but they did it well. They made it better than the existing solutions, and they won the market. So when you are building something, don't think of a sexy idea. Look at the problems around you that you are facing, your friends are facing, or some people are facing in a community. Go solve, build for that, and launch fast. Now when it comes to, okay, you might not be ready to start a startup of your own. So how can you leverage this AI sitting in SF? Well, you can do a lot. If you don't want to build a product, you can help people who are building product by providing your services. So a lot of companies, especially the bigger ones, they're quite confused on how they can leverage AI. So sitting in SF, I think this is a huge opportunity where you can become an expert in AI by just talking to people, by learning what's happening, by exploring new tools. And you can help these bigger enterprises to solve their AI problem or to help them use AI into their system. Secondly, it's very early, right? Nobody is like, oh, I'm doing generative AI from last 10 years. So it's new for everyone. So you can become a leader in this very quickly. So it's early days. You can just pick up this opportunity and bang. And third is, it's a great, great time. Either, you can start your own fund, you can join a fund, or you can, join a company that is working in generative AI. Happy to, if you're seeking any jobs, happy to talk to you regarding positions at Butternut AI. So this is all what's happening in the world. SF is the epicenter, building the AI revolution. I would encourage everybody to take part in this and actually be a creator in it. Because as an entrepreneur, one thing that often I feel is different from, I would say, each and every entrepreneur is quite optimistic because you're believing in something the world doesn't believe in, but you know you can make it possible and the world will start believing in you. So whenever there's a platform shift, optimists and doers, they make money and they make impact. Pessimists and critics, they make headlines. So just remember, whenever a change is happening around you, think, if this could happen, how the world will change. Be an optimist rather than a pessimist. Because when Steve Jobs, he launched iPhone, there were pessimists, these newspapers printing, oh, who is going to buy this expensive phone? What is the use when we have Motorola and everything? But look at it, what it did. It changed our world. People who were optimists, they started building on the App Store and these revolutionary apps that we use every day, like Uber, Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder, everything. Our lifestyle is dependent on this iPhone. So be an optimist in this AI revolution and start creating or exploring the AI world. Thank you. So now I would like to open up for questions. Happy to answer any questions you might have regarding Butternut or AI or coding, anything.
Let's start Q&A. And if you guys can just do me a favor and help me pass the mic. And when you ask your question, if you can just stand so everyone can see you, the live stream can see you. And when you're done, if you can pass the mic back to me or even better to the next person for continuity.
It's a simple question. When you did your 20-second website, which is amazing, can you pick a style or can you have other parameters that can create that site? Or does it end up basically making the same site no matter what the product is?
So we are adding up, a lot more options where you can customize according to styles and design that you want. But if you don't like what you see, you have a regenerate option on the top where you can regenerate the entire website and it will give out a new design. So you can always click on regenerate and it will keep on giving you newer and different designs for your website and you can pick whichever you like.
But could you give it some of your brand details that you have, like you already have a color scheme and a logo and things like that, that most brands, when they're at a website point, they have things that...
Yes, we are launching that feature, but a lot of the, you can always customize the sections, but rebranding the entire website, we are, giving the design instructions as well, we are incorporating that in the coming feature.
I don't want it to diminish the fact that it was an amazing demo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go with the next question.
Oh, please. Sorry. Thank you for the presentation. Really exciting product, and I always felt tools like Webflow and Framer are pretty hard to use for non-technical people. So I was wondering, what's your key differentiation for your product?
Yeah, the key differentiation is I don't give you a blank template or a blank canvas to work on. It's like our AI already understands the kind of business you are building and the target demography. We don't ask you to work on SEO. So our models are intelligent enough to build a website that resonates with your business category and your demography. And the SEO optimizations will always try to rank it higher and higher on Google without you doing anything. So it's like an intelligent model versus a blank canvas. So that's what Butternut AI is building.
Any other questions from the audience?
You mentioned you built this on the top of the AI model. Did you guys created your own LLM, or you are just doing this on top of like OpenAI or like a Claude 3?
Yeah, so it's a mixed match of different things. Since you need to build code from ground up, then there's content, images, SEO optimization. So it's a mixed match of building our own model by parsing 500,000 websites across the internet to understand the business category and the structure of the website. And we also use existing LLMs like OpenAI, Llama, and do a lot of prompt engineering for the content.
So it's like a RAG where you are kind of going through like a different, putting into a vector embedding and stuff?
I won't exactly call it a RAG. For content part, yes, it's like optimizing, building on top of like fine-tuning the AI model. But for the code part, we have built our own model.
And how do you host it?
How do?
Like if I have created a website, how do I host it?
So we have a subscription. So if you want to take it live, yeah, you can just subscribe to our pro plan, and we'll take care of everything regarding hosting, SSL, security, privacy, SEO, and everything. You just need to get your domain name. That's all. Thank you, Saurabh.
Hi, that was a fantastic presentation. Thank you. I'm curious, who are sort of your ICP, your ideal customers?
So currently, small business owners and startups are our target audience, and they are using it in many different ways. So people who already have existing businesses or people who are starting up are using Butternut to get their business online.
Any other questions for Pritika?
Can you export the website out if you wanted to do further customization?
Mm-hmm. Not at this point of time. But you can always add your own custom code inside the website. Like if you want to add Calendly or Google Analytics, you can always embed your code.
Any other questions for Pritika?
Can you talk a little bit more about the SEO optimization process? Is this more of a dynamic thing that happens as you're adding more content to the website, or does it happen initially when you generate the page and then that's it?
So with the SEO part, it is when you generate the page, as I mentioned, the AI, it tries to understand your business and demography or your TG as much as possible. So we try to optimize for certain keywords that are used to your website. And whenever you are regenerating content with our AI, it is always giving you, SEO optimized text for your TG or your business category, but you can always edit the text, or if you have a better knowledge of the kind of keywords you want to target, you can always insert it into that. And using the dashboard, you can target those SEO keywords much better.
If you build a website for a client, can you allow them to update the content?
Yes. So a lot of agencies, they have been using Butternut AI to build for their clients. So you can build for your clients, and then after you take your website live, you get a dashboard login detail through which your client can go and update anything they like.
Any other questions for Pritika? What about, at this stage, what's the maximum complexity a user can expect if they want to navigate, if they want a multi-page page with multiple places to navigate to?
Yeah, so as I showed the newer version, the older version was more of a landing page, but the newer version that we are releasing this week is the one I showed you, is a multi-page one, where our system will only detect the kind of pages your business needs and build it for you, but you'll always have the option to add more pages according to your own needs as well.
And what about addressing media needs, uploading photos, video content? Are there any limitations at this stage, or where do you see it expanding?
No, you can go and edit each and every component on the website, be it text, images, you can add items, you can delete sections, you can add your Calendly, you can add YouTube videos, everything is there. You just need to click a couple of buttons and everything will be done.
Pritika, what AI tools are you excited about using? What have you been using? What have you been finding useful in your own work, whether it's on Butternut or elsewhere? What can you share on this topic?
Well, the most useful tool is definitely, I've been trying different tools. One tool I really love is Photoroom AI. It's for images, and it's amazing, built by a friend, a fellow YC founder. Then secondly, obviously, ChatGPT. Like, how can we miss that, right? So yeah, I think these are the two top tools I use.
Photo Room, I believe they're based in Paris now.
They were always based in Paris.
Oh, okay. Well, put us in touch when they come into town, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Let's see. Let's take another question from the audience.
Yeah, I'm curious about your perspective of the future of AI. So the automation of website creation, I think, is a great use of AI. And as a marketer / founder, I think we are also like what we can do on top of the AI build is that the user journey on the website and the A/B test and some human touch analytics or decision making. So how are you thinking of this where are you thinking of for expanding your product further? And then how much do you think AI can contribute when it comes to marketing in your website part?
I think AI, as I mentioned, we are still in very nascent stage, but it is progressing very, very fast. And when it comes to where we are heading, so, as I mentioned, in the future, we won't need a lot of coders. In fact, all of us will be by default coders and we'll be coding in natural language. So that is the ultimate vision where we built an agent that is so intelligent that you can just talk to it just the way you talk to a fancy, expensive developer. You talk to our AI agent and build a complex app like Uber or Airbnb on Butternut AI.
Have you tried Claude 3 by any chance? Have you had access?
I didn't get a chance to do that.
How about any of the Mistral models?
Mistral, they're amazing, yeah. Anthropic, Mistral, doing great work.
Okay. Any other questions from the audience? Okay. Let's give Pritika a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pritika.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll just get set up for our next speaker, who will actually be EJ. EJ is the co-founder and CEO of Tofu. The title of EJ's talk is Scaling B2B Marketing for Enterprises Using Gen AI. You all are very lucky to have EJ here. And without further delay, here is EJ.
Hi, folks. Nice to meet you all. I thought I was going to be 30 minutes later, but got pulled up, so here I am. This is my second time here, by the way, and I love this meetup, so I see a few faces that I'm kind of aware of. I'd like to talk about Tofu today. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tofu. We are a B2B marketing platform. So we help B2B marketing teams basically, I'm asked to increase the screen. We help B2B marketing teams do more with less. Should I try to minimize again? Maybe this is better. Are we good now? Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm good. Cool. So we help B2B marketing teams do more with less. At a high level, we help teams in two dimensions. The first dimension is what we call repurposing. The idea here is, as a B2B marketer, there's many different types of content you create. Think about the landing pages, copies that you have to create, the blog posts, the social posts. A lot of times it's not something creating net new, but you're repurposing existing content. It might be content of yours. It could be some articles that you have on some websites. From that, you are creating these different types of content. And we use generative AI to help you do that much more efficiently. The kind of core metrics that we are trying to improve is obviously the time, resource, and budgets that goes into your team to creating these types of content. And we do one-to-one repurposing. Think about, hey, I have this cool blog post, and I want to create a social post out of it. We hear this so often. I have a white paper. How often has it been where you have this white paper, you have it on your website for a bit, but then it's kind of stuck in the corner of your website, and it's never to be seen again? People ask, can I really create a few blog posts from this white paper? Can I create a quick email campaign from this white paper? It comes up a lot. So we do one-to-one, one-to-many. The second thing we do is around personalization. And if you're a B2B marketer, you have these different customer segments. It could be across different personas. It could be across different industries. A lot of our companies, clients want to do account-based marketing. So if you want to really create that one-to-one, hyper-personalized landing page or email for a specific account, they use us as well. Now, the thinking here is, again and again, it comes up where they say personalization is great. If you go to any B2B marketing's websites, at the top menu bar, you see our customers or our personas, and you have these different landing pages created. And the reason they do this is obviously they want to make sure that content is really relevant to the target audience that they're trying to sell for. But they keep saying it's really impossible to scale. So how do you do that across 500 accounts, right? As opposed to 20 accounts if you have a huge ABX team. That's really where we're trying to solve for in Tofu. So there's a lot of AI marketing solutions out there. So I just wanted to have this slide to kind of be super clear how we're different. Number one, we care a lot about the quality of the output. So if you look at all those different LLM models out there, a lot of the benchmarks are around things like coding or something that's not really related to marketing. So we kind of built our own benchmarks. So we test all the OpenAI models out there, GPT-4, GPT-4 Turbo. We just talked about Anthropic Cloud. We've tested Opus. Opus is actually surprisingly good. We see it's on par, or actually slightly better on certain categories, at least for marketing content, the Gemini models and all that sort. So we have a very rigorous evaluation framework where we try to rate the quality of the output every single week. The second big part, we're really focused on mid-market to enterprise companies. So if you're a marketer, right, you use ChatGPT and you say, okay, cool, that's great. I created a blog post out of it. The biggest problem is, then what? Let's say you create 100 different personalized versions of that email campaign. Unless that's not in your HubSpot account, your Marketo account, where you can actually send those emails campaigns right now, it doesn't really solve your problem as a marketer. So we try to really go that last mile. We create the final HTML landing page that works with any landing page web hosting provider in the world. So you could be using WordPress, you can be using Webflow, you could be your own Vercel, it doesn't matter. We can create dynamic landing pages that's really hyper-personalized. So with that, let's just go to a demo. Oops, give me 1 second. I'll log into another account. It's apparently GDC. So I was doing another talk, and I just created a demo for Unity. So pretend you're a marketer at Unity, right? And you have all these content that you have to create. You want to do hyper-personalization. Your team's damn small. You can't do it all by yourself. You want to leverage AI. So what you do in our platform, first of all, we have this part called the playbook. Tofu is largely comprised of two parts. One is what we call the playbook. Let me try to increase it a bit. Playbook, and the second is the factory. The playbook is where you store all the common knowledge graph. We call it a knowledge graph, but it's storing information like things like your brand guidelines, your brand tone, your positioning, all your different customer segmentation. We have all this information stored because a lot of times we see that as a delta between using GPT and saying, looks like a good human written output versus something that really sounds like it came out of your marketing team. So we put in a lot of effort to get that tone, brand positioning really right. Once you have that, factory is now your content engine where you can repeatedly create different types of content. So I'll show you both. So first, the playbook it starts in the company info tab. Again, anything about your company, think about your brand guidelines. We start from your website. As soon as you provide your website, we actually go and crawl and scrape your website, so we know exactly what services you provide, what type of content or products you serve, but also like how do you speak to your customers, like the messaging. We try to understand that well. A lot of the times our customers want to add additional information, so it could be things like their internal style guide, what things you should not be saying, product overview or competitor advantage. You can even do a web search and pull in information there. Anything that you have internally about how you speak to your customers today, you put it here in the playbook. Once you have all that information, the next step is what we call targets. Targets are for personalization. It's how you segment your customers today. Remember, like a lot of times marketers segment across different industries. So in the case of Unity, not only do they serve gamers and gaming studios, but they also target automotive industries and architecture industries, and they have separate landing pages for each one of them, of course, because they want to make sure they speak that language. Now, as a marketer, what you can do is you can pull in any kind of information you have about those segments, and we ingest all that information so we can use that when we create personalized content specifically for these industries. The definition of targets is very generic. It can be across different personas, different industries. You can do account-based marketing at the company level. We integrate with all your CRMs and your marketing automation tools, so we can directly pull in your account list from Salesforce and create hyper-personalized content for those accounts that your sales reps want to target. You can do it across at the contact level. So if you have at the individual contact level and you know their titles, so depending on different titles and personas, you can target and create custom content there. But it really can be any way you slice and dice your customers. So this is this is one example of doing it based on accounts. So we kind of pulled in from our HubSpot list 10 architecture companies. So what we do, similar to the main company info tab, we actually go and crawl and scrape all these websites. So we go exactly here. We try to understand what exactly they do, what services they provide, what's their specialty, and store all of that within our playbook. We go one step further, and if you think about, let's say you're a 200 company, your marketing team is like 20, and you have like a small ABM team. What do? A lot of times they're doing like heavy account research. So they're thinking, okay, what do these companies do? Is there any recent news on the web? What kind of private information do we have from our previous interactions with them? They're extracting all that information. So like when they then create content for them, be that a landing page, an email, they're able to utilize that hyper-personalized and relevant content. But we do that all automatically. So we go and scrape the web, we pull in your private information, so we know, we create a summary about this company. We say, oh, what are the pain points this specific company might face in the context of what Unity can provide? What are specific value propositions Unity can provide to this company? And we do this all automatically. Obviously, as a marketer, you can always override this and change this, but this is a huge unlock for marketing teams because now they can really do account-based marketing at scale for hundreds and hundreds of companies. We have a company that did like 20 landing pages like manually, painstakingly, but through Tofu, now they can do up to 600 and 650 different landing pages at scale. So that's a target list. The next is what we call assets. So assets is for repurposing. Imagine, let's say, for for Unity, they recently had this event. I went to their website and actually their YouTube channel and just crawled all their videos. And now we automatically transcribe them. And the idea is like from this, can we create quick blog posts? Can we create quick LinkedIn posts and so forth? News articles, ebooks, again, like one-to-one, one-to-many from this channel to other channels. These are the different types of content that we can help repurpose. All right, so now the fun part. Let's actually go and create some content. This is the factory page where we are able to create different types of content. You'll see all the historical campaigns that we've created for you. Let's go and create a new campaign. Let's start with an ABM campaign, targeting architecture companies. We have these two modalities, personalization and repurposing. We'll start with personalization. Let's add some targets, right? So this is where we pull in the information that we had from the playbook. I'll just go and select all of them. It can be as many as you want. We'll also add some instructions. So say we are targeting specific architecture companies, pull in relevant industry specifics. can also say make the tone professional yet simple. Another great thing about Tofu is, oh, by the way, you can also reference external content. So if you have some external white paper that you want to reference and you want to say, hey, pull in some statistics from this white paper for the output, you can do that. But you can save all of these instructions as a preset. So imagine if you're, again, working with a chat-based interface, you've got some blog post, but the next time you have to do that all over again. For us, let's say you have some instructions and prompts that work well. You can save something like this and say ABM instructions that work well. So as a marketer, the next time you create a new campaign, you don't really have to repeat this process over and over again. You can just pull in these instructions and use your campaign directly and create your campaign directly. All right, so let's create some content. We do omni-channel. It's a big feature of ours where we create not only just the emails or just like the landing pages. We do landing pages, marketing emails, SDR emails, white papers, blog posts, ad campaigns, and more. So I'll really quickly start with a landing page. I saw this website, this landing page for Unity, so I'll use that. We start with what we call a template. And the idea here is, again, you have this existing landing page, this existing page in your website that you know really works well, but now you want to create hyper-personalized versions of this website across these different targets. This is exactly what you're doing. So I'll give it a few seconds for this to fetch. And what we're going to do now is from this existing website, we're going to select a few components of where we want to personalize the content for. And then we're going to personalize it for those 10 different architecture companies. Cool, so now this page has been loaded, so let's go and select some components. We've broken it out to different components you can select. You can decide what you want to personalize and what you don't want to. So I'll just select a few components like this and go forward. At this point, if you want to add any instructions, you can add them here as well. Cool, so let's now go ahead and test it for one target. I'll just pick one random company and see how the output looks like. So the process is typically how our customers use it is they test it in one or two targets and see what the output looks like, add some prompting to get the output exactly the way they want it. After they do that, then you now are just mass generated for like 50, 100 different companies. Cool, so now you see we've personalized it for Perkins and Will. We can kind of review the results and go one by one for each component. So by default, we give 2 different variations. You can always regenerate and create new variations. We also have the ability to not only create the content at scale, but also give custom instructions at the component level. So you can say something like, this is an H1, so give it some impact by adding an emoji. So not necessarily that you would do this, but to just demonstrate the fact that you do have that flexibility of really creating content at scale, but then also giving fine-grained instructions at the component level. So now you see we've kind of given this additional flavor and instruction at the component level. We'll see the different outputs as well. Again, 2 different variations. There's always a human in the loop, so you can delete it and change it to whatever you want. And let's say after a few iterations, I like this, I'll go ahead and use this. And what we'll do is now generate for the remaining 9 targets. So we have this landing page where we generated for Perkins and Will, and now Tofu in the background is going to create all these different landing pages for you. Now, while we do this, just to show you the omni-channel component for it, you built this personalized landing page. Well, how are you going to now drive traffic to that landing page? Typically, what marketers do, they have some kind of maybe ad campaign or an email campaign where they're doing outbound. So let's do that. So let's say email sequence 1. A lot of times our customers have an existing email template that they know works quite well. So in that case, you can just provide it here. If not, we also create a template for you. So we'll do that right now. And the idea here is we're going to create a really personalized email for one of these target accounts. And then it's only a template, so you can always change it and fix it the way you want it. But again, similar to the landing page, once we have that email, we're now going to personalize it for all the different accounts. So we personalize it for this company called Nikken Seke. I'll just maybe change this to something like this, which will replace it with in reality, a personalization token, maybe in your HubSpot or whatnot. We have different variations, so you can kind of see through that. All of this is, again, editable, but a few times after you've iterated, let's say I like this email template. Same process with the landing page. You select the parts you want to personalize. So let's say I want to personalize the subject line, and then I want to personalize this whole body. I'll go to continue. Again, you can add any instructions here at this point, but I'll skip. Let's also just test it on one other account to get a sense of what it looks like. Gensler. Cool. So now pulled in specific things that Gensler might be working on. Again, still in the architecture industry, and then pulls in relevant content that's really hyper-personal. So it kind of knows, because we fetched their website, right? We know they have 53 offices worldwide. So that's really relevant, personalized information that it would be really hard to do at scale if you do it manually. Cool. Again, same thing. Let's read the results and start generating for the remaining 9. The landing pages are all done, so we can see a few others. Let's maybe look at this one. So this is a personalized landing page for ACOM. While this generating, I want to quickly show how now marketing teams use this in practice. You are able to export this. We push it directly to your marketing automation tools, HubSpot, Marketo, any other platforms. Let's say you have a WordPress that you host your website on. All you have to do is add the script at the header of your website. And what will happen is, based on this tag at the end, you'll be able to render a dynamic landing page for each of these separate accounts. So again, very simple, lightweight. All you have to do is add this script, and then you are able to create you'll have this different variations of that landing page ready for you. Same for email. Let's see if I'll just stop generating to show you how it works. Cool. So for email, same thing. We push directly to your marketing automation tools, HubSpot, Marketo. We integrate with Salesforce, so it means if you have a mapping with Outreach, SalesLoft, or any other sales automation tool, we push it there as well. What will happen is we have this personalized content for each individual account, and depending on the recipient, whether that person is any one of these accounts, they will get that personalized version of that email. So again, it's that last mile that we do a lot to make sure it really works well. Cool. Okay, so that's personalization. I have 1 minute left to show repurposing, so wish me luck. Okay, so repurposing, it's much more simple, so hopefully it'll go by quick. The idea of repurposing, again, is you have this anchor content, and you want to create many derivative content from it, right? One-to-one, one-to-many. You can always start by adding your anchor content, or you can pull in the anchor content that we had in our playbook. So let's say, hey, like there was this keynote of Unite 2023 that Unity recently hosted. I want to pull in all that transcript, and let's say I want to create some marketing collateral out of it, right? Same thing, you have the step to add any instructions. Now we're at the content phase. Let's go ahead and add some content. So I don't know, let's create some marketing email out of it. Let's create a blog post out of it. And let's create a LinkedIn post out of it. You can also add a template. So if you have a template of what your typical blog post looks like, you can add it, and we try to follow the structure and the tone of it as well. All right, so we'll go ahead and generate this. And again, the best thing is repeatable workflows, right? I don't want you to do this once. I want you to do this for all your content. So all of these instructions, you can save them as presets. The next time you have a new piece of anchor content, you just swap out that anchor content, and boom, you have these 3 pieces of content ready to go. Now, initially, you want to make sure you get the tone right and the output the way you want it. So there's some back and forth in adding the instructions there. But once you have it, you can, again, tailor to that exact same format that you like for your LinkedIn post. So it gave us something like this. But again, like you have the flexibility. So you, let's say, make it short and clip it at 2 to 3 paragraphs. And with the CTA to check out unity.com. So I can regenerate it. And let's say I like these. I can always save this as a preset and call it like LinkedIn presets. So the next time I create a LinkedIn post, it will follow these instructions. So let's give it a second to regenerate it based on these instructions. Bless you. Cool, so now you see we've generated, again, 2 different variations. They're both 2 to 3 paragraphs long. It ended with a CTA to check out unity.com. Really quickly, marketing email. Again, you can add instructions to make it longer or shorter the way you want it. Same for blog posts. Cool, so that's it for the demo for Tofu. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, first question.
Hello, that was a very, very impressive demo. Just one question. How much, if any, AI resources did you use to create the product Tofu?
So we use foundational models like OpenAI models, Cloud Anthropic models under the hood. But what we do is, on top of that, we build our own knowledge graph. We have our own RAG system to be able to pull in very relevant information specific for that company. So we have that layer to try to make sure it really follows the brand tone for that company.
Any code generation tools, EJ, to build Tofu?
To replace me and others.
To assist you.
We have all the, what's the one that GitHub has?
Copilot.
Copilot, GPT-4, we have access for that for all of our software engineers. We do think it's going to be a huge unlock for productivity. And there's more exciting stuff that I see every day, like Devin and whatnot. So yes, we use them a lot.
Hi there. 2 related questions. One, people are talking about the fatigue that they have with generative AI content. Like you can recognize how it's sort of sanitized. What kind of levers do you provide so that, if you've provided your own content, you can maintain, the sort of idiosyncratic style that you have? And then related to that, what these models are really doing is collect a lot of information and training like their models to sort of, understand how people do stuff. And the information that you are asking for that, that this sort of product needs is the kind of key competitive information that, I as a business owner, care about protecting, and yet here I am sort of feeding it in. So, what would you say to me, to sort of allay my fears in that respect?
Yeah, those are good questions. Let me answer the first one in terms of how we try to, you're right. I honestly can smell GPT-4 output from a mile away. They're all the same. For that exact reason, I actually am really happy that there are other competitors out there. Again, we figured out that Opus Cloud was actually really good, but it has a very much more conversational tone. But it's good in general, right? Because it gives diversity in terms of tone. But on top of that, what we also do is, again, we have this playbook where you're able to upload existing marketing content that you have that we can now emulate and try to follow that tone reference. In the content page, I didn't show you that as well, but let's say you have an email, you can upload an existing email that maybe your CTO write, and maybe it's really technical language, and as a marketer, you don't know exactly how to follow it, or you can try to, but you can always add that as a tone reference. So to answer your first question, we have many places where we can try to emulate your tone, and the foundational models are getting more diverse, so that's good. The second point around, hey, as a marketer, am I putting my competitive advantage here, and am I putting myself at risk? At least our customers don't see it that way. Honestly, I've never heard that before. I think the way that they want to do, by the way, all of this is content that will eventually be sent out, right? So they are going to try to reach out audiences. They just want to make sure they reach and speak their language. A lot of the brand tone and guidelines that they might have internally, but it's something that they share internally as well to make sure they don't follow and they don't use specific words and phrases. And they want to make sure if there's any AI tool out there, it does the same, right? If it just spits out just normal, common language, they don't want it. So we've actually seen marketers not mention that a lot, and they actually want to make sure the output is good because they want to help themselves. They want to help their teams be more efficient. But the fact that you can now do that, where you can add these brand guidelines, you can add these style tones, I think the thing that will be different though is each company will have to think, well, what is my core branding? Like, what's my core position? How can I differentiate that? But once you have that, I do think teams will now want to find tools that can help, use that same tone, same branding for all the different types of content that they create. So that's how we see it.
First of all, thank you very much for a great presentation and demo. My name is John Alexis Guerra Gomez from Northeastern University here in Silicon Valley. I want to talk a little bit about hallucinations with your product because it's very impressive and the way you have it designed, especially with concepts like the presets and many select all and generate like 100. I have the impression that probably like the UX is kind of suggesting to people that they can just generate and forget about it. So you have all of these customizations, and I love the human in the loop that you have in there. But even if you have like small hallucinations, you still have a chance of still making like really messed up mistakes in there that are going to be distributed officially by this. So do you have any ideas on how to control for that or how to reduce the hallucinations? Do you see where I'm going with that? Because it seems like a great product, but it seems also very risky that it can be generating lies in there. Does it make sense?
Yeah. By the way, it's been really interesting to see how much it's gone better because even last year at this time, we had seen quite a few cases where it would hallucinate. We've done a lot of prompt engineering to reduce it. Like I mentioned before, we have our own quality evaluations that we do every week, and we actually have that exact one criteria where it's saying, hey, is it spitting out language where it's just not true? So we try to measure that exact same point because it's such an important part as a marketer, right? All that said, the way our customers are currently using our tool right now, there is a human in the loop. They want to check it. And it makes sense, right? Like, hey, I created 50 landing pages. Still, it would probably take me 2 months if I had to do it right now, but I have Tofu created for me. It takes what, like an hour or two just to kind of go through it. So there's always a human in the loop. We recommend to have the human in the loop. I think it's a great thing to do. However, we do see some customers want to go from that co-pilot to an autopilot. So what they're thinking is, hey, EJ, for my like high lead customers, I want to make sure I go through it, and we have them do so. But there's different stages of the life cycles for a prospect, right? There's these like really early stage prospects where they maybe just visited your website. It's not really close to closing anytime soon. But for those kind of customers, you have the more leeway to still keep them engaged by having personalized content, but you're not going to go through thousands and thousands of emails individually. So we have some customers that want to move towards that autopilot, but predominantly, yes, humans are in the loop. We want to keep that way. We do think in the future that hallucination rate will get less and less. So.
EJ, you mentioned LLM eval.
Yep.
Can you share more about your process for scoring performance, if you're able to, or what can you share on this?
Yes, we have a blog post about this. I care about this a lot. I am a huge believer that you can't improve what you cannot measure. And you're thinking at the beginning, like, well, how do you measure this? It's never been done before, but it can always be done. So we started with more manual reviews because a lot of this is subjective, right? When you say, hey, the tone is not right, what the heck does that mean? Like, how can you score that? But if you have a marketing background, you can kind of tell. So we have these human raters that have a marketing background, rate our content across all the different marketing collateral, all the different cases, across different criteria, like the hallucination that you mentioned. How well does it follow the tone? How deep is the personalization? What about the grammar? What about the format? So we do it across all these stuff. Some of these, we are now trying to automate it. So like all the stuff, you've seen all these LLM-based evaluation tools, and we're trying to adopt some of them to do more of like a unit testing, do more quicker evaluations. But even right now, a lot of the content is quite qualitative, that I think it really helps to have a human rate it. So that's what we're doing.
Makes sense. Super interesting. EJ will be around here for networking, so let's give him a round of applause. And if there's any other questions, let's follow up. Thanks, EJ.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So, is it going to show up on?
Please help me welcome Harini Kannan, CEO of Dreamwave. Title of Harini's talk is Increasing Your Brand Engagement with AI Photos.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Harini Kannan. I'm the founder and CEO at Dreamwave AI, and we're working on next generation AI photography. And so the photo that you see here is a generated photograph of someone at the Met Gala that we generated with our product. So at Dreamwave, we believe that image generation AI is poised to change every pixel that we see. And our vision is to supercharge our customers' marketing teams with custom AI models to generate assets, content, and ad creatives. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, which are great tools to kind of generate more general assets. But what if you want to generate something specific, a specific product or photos of a specific person? How would you do that? And that's the problem that we're solving at Dreamwave, so building custom AI models to do this. A little bit about our commercial product. So it's a foundation model and also a commercial offering that's accurate, steerable, and scalable. These are all photos generated from one model that we trained with. Here are some examples of the range of outputs that you can get with Dreamwave. So the photograph on the left is an example input image, and as you can see, you can kind of generate totally new photography assets of the same person in different scenes, in different clothing styles and backgrounds. The one on the left is my favorite because she's at the Met Gala, and I don't know, I'm a Met Gala fan, so you can't really do this with, photoshopping things together or using Midjourney to kind of like do a face swap. You would kind of need to generate the entire photograph from scratch, and that's what Dreamwave allows you to do. Some more examples of the same person. The photo on the left is kind of like a cool outfit. The photo on the right is an example of her at a talk show, maybe. More examples here. The left is another Met Gala outfit, another talk show photograph. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a sense of the range of different outputs that you can generate with Dreamwave. So I'm going to go into a few use cases that we've seen our customers use. I think a big one is just creating photography assets for different types of social media posts and ad creatives. And so here's an example. So this is Julia. She's a content creator on Instagram. She's a health coach. And she used Dreamwave to generate examples of lifestyle photography of herself. And so this is an example of the input image that she puts in, and then on the right are examples of what Dreamwave generates for her. And as you can see, like these are not kind of like face swapped images. The entire visual asset has been created from scratch. And then Julia used her Dreamwave photo, like over here on the right, as a piece of content for her Instagram. And I think this is really cool because having high quality visual assets dramatically increases engagement, click-through rates. If people are scrolling through your Instagram feed, having a professional photograph of yourself is going to get more people to stop, click, like, and comment. We have another example here. Shannon is another content creator, and the photo that she used over here was also generated entirely from scratch with Dreamwave. And so it definitely saved her a few $100s and a trip to a photography session to be able to create assets for her Instagram. Another example here is Alexa. So Alexa is another content creator on Instagram, and her niche is real estate. And so Alexa put in this input photo of herself, and wanted lifestyle and studio photography assets. And so these are, 4 examples that Dreamwave generated for her. Here is a closer look at the photo that she ended up choosing. And Alexa ended up using her photo as part of her content on Instagram as well. She created this infographic, 3 myths about buying a home, and used one of her professional photographs from Dreamwave for this infographic. Some more examples of how you can use Dreamwave to create photos. So this is an example of just using 2 input photos and creating a range of outputs. More lifestyle photography examples. And I think photos like this are really great for different types of ad creatives because they look natural and the lighting is just perfect. So I think that something like this would really cause people to stop and engage with your ad. This is pretty cool. So this is more of like creative and editorial outputs. And so I guess like in a photo studio, being able to create these types of images would require, setting up props, lighting, a ton of different costumes and costume changes. But with Dreamwave, you can do creative photography with the snap of your fingers. More example of that lifestyle photography. The one over here on the left is one of my personal favorites. I feel like she looks like she's coming out of like an old film scene. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool that you can generate different types of aesthetics and vibes with Dreamwave as well. More examples here. And then going into a little bit about fashion. So we at Dreamwave believe that AI photography has endless possibilities for fashion. I think virtual try-on is a really great example of this. And so this is actually my friend, Erin. And Erin loved this dress from Reformation and wanted to try it on. And so I created this photo of her wearing the same dress. And so you could kind of imagine being able to do this at scale with different types of models, different types of clothing items, being able to generate both brand photography and ad creatives like this at scale. A little bit more about kind of the current process for doing these types of fashion photography. So if you want to photograph a single SKU, you would have to hire a human model. You would have to rent out studio space, find a photographer, find hair and makeup. It's just a lot in terms of what goes into that type of budget. And so really our goal at Dreamwave is to build out a deep engineering and design partnership with creative directors, marketing teams, and then being able to build these types of high fidelity custom models for a specific aesthetic. And I talked a little bit about this in the previous slides, but there's so many possibilities here. So, marketing campaigns, website photography, social media, ad creatives, and so on. A few more examples of the types of clothing items that we can do. So this is my friend Shervin, and Shervin is, shown over here with like a nice business casual collared shirt. And this blue and white puffer jacket that he virtually tried on. Couple more examples. This like nice leather jacket I think he looks great in. A V-neck T-shirt. But just so many different possibilities for the types of clothes that you could try on. I think this is a really nice kind of like winter aesthetic. So like a white puffer jacket with kind of like the streets in the background. Corporate styles has actually been very popular among our customers as well. So here's an example input image, and then being able to generate like a nice blazer, a nice jacket with that same person. Cool. Okay, so moving into some examples of website photography. So a lot of Dreamwave customers have used our photos for their websites. This is Chris Reith, who's a creative director, and he's been using Dreamwave for super easy and quick brand and web assets for his clients. Companies have been using Dreamwave for consistent team headshots. So you can kind of see like at the bottom here, they kind of wanted like a fun, colorful vibe to really showcase their personality, and they were able to do that with Dreamwave. Another example of companies using Dreamwave for website photography. So this is Tri-State Psychotherapy Group. They are a firm of therapists, and before they kind of just had their therapists upload selfies, to their website. And if you're a therapist, you really want to make sure that you are presenting a professional look to your potential clients. And so they use Dreamwave to get uniform headshots of all of their therapists. A little bit about Dreamwave's personal AI photo studio. So I think I showed some examples earlier with the editorial and creative photography. And I think one thing that's really cool here is something I alluded to before, which is that the cost of costuming and props is often a huge one. But with Photo Studio, you can create all sorts of different effects and without kind of actually getting a whole team of people to do it for you. I think that these two images with the fire is pretty cool, so you don't have to, handle pyrotechnics or anything like that. You can just use Dreamwave to make really cool imagery. Another example of Dreamwave learning your personal style. So Cassandra is a musician, and she was really hoping for imagery with more of an artistic and edgy feel. And something cool about Dreamwave is that it can learn your personal style kind of off the bat. So she was pretty happy with her Dreamwave photos. More examples of the Met Gala. So these are consistent and natural photos of one specific person. I'm coming back to the Met Gala because I think it's a great example of being able to generate specific person and specific scene, with great lighting and minimal artifacts. Cool. And then in terms of what's next for us, we're very excited about product photography, videos, and more. I think that product photography actually represents just a huge efficiency speed up if you were to try to use AI to kind of create some of the assets that people are currently doing by hand. We wanted to start with people because I think being able to generate high fidelity clothing items and faces of people, that's kind of like a really easy way to grasp what Dreamwave does. But with product photography, I think that's kind of the next step. And so we really want to go beyond like the background removal and generate entirely new product photos from scratch. So we are working on that, and we're hoping to release this product Q4 of 2024. And I think videos is another really cool area as well. We're actively working on this, probably sometime closer to next year. So I talked a lot about the different tools that we have for marketing teams. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to come find me afterwards, and I can tell you how to get set up with that. In the meantime, we actually have this really fun consumer product where you can get professional AI headshots of yourself. And I'll drop the link. Well, the link is going to be in the next slide, I think. But you can feel free to check it out after the talk. But yeah, you can kind of get professional headshots of yourself with just a few sample pictures that you upload. Cool. Okay, so that's most of the material that I have so far. I wanted to leave the floor open for questions. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Harini. let's do Q&A. So the consumer product is live and ready to go right now.
Yeah, so the consumer product is live and ready to go. So you just want to go to dreamwave.ai and then /AI headshots, and you can kind of try it out yourself with a few pictures that you have on your smartphone.
Great. So I have a question about the upcoming use case for, I think you call it the try-on use case.
Yeah.
So probably uploading a reference image and probably one for the clothing and one for the person. Can you tell us like how long that process, like how many images would a user, do you anticipate, would upload of each, and how long would the process take?
Yeah. So the hard part is modeling the person exactly right. So this is my friend Erin. She uploaded about 5 pictures of herself to create her own custom AI model. And then the AI takes about 2 hours to learn what you look like. Once the AI learns what you look like, you can kind of just upload any photo like this, and you'll be able to generate, yourself with that particular clothing item in a few seconds.
Thank you for the presentation. I really like your landing page, design style, and also the typography in your font, the brand name. Now, I was wondering, how did you come up with the logo part?
Yeah, the logo wasn't me. It was Carolyn Zhang, who was our amazing designer, and she's been a creative director for many, many years. But Carolyn has been advising us on a lot of the design aspects. So I'm an engineer. I don't do any of the design, but it's all her. Yeah.
Hi. So for the input, like after training the custom model for 2 hours, does it just has to be like a photo, or like you have to give like a prompts on what are you expecting? Like you mentioned Met Gala or like some other location, like a background or the style. So is it like Midjourney where you look for like do this for me like in the background?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the process of training the custom model, that does not require any prompts. So for that, you literally just need to upload a few pictures of yourself. And then once the model is trained, that's kind of where you can do the different prompts that I showed examples of. So like the Met Gala, or even in this case, if you have a clothing item that you want to try on, you could do that as well.
Hi, I'm Vinayak. Thanks for the presentation. It's very beautiful, very clean deck. I loved it. Couple of things, a couple of questions for you. First is for the B2C, the consumer side of the product, what happens to the images that we upload? What's the policy there? Do you delete it off your system, or do you use it as training data? First is that. Second is, how close are you to the virtual try-on, like making it, is it already live? Can somebody try it via PLG motion? And third question is, is there any reason you're focusing on close-ups rather than full model photography? Is it more difficult? Fingers are acting up because that's what I see. Is there a reason to just focus on this particular niche, which is great, but I would love to understand a bit more about that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, those are great questions. Okay, so let me start from the top. What do we do with your data? So we delete your personal AI model within 30 days of no use. We also delete all of your data if you don't want us to store your data, we can delete that immediately. So that's both your AI generated photos and the photos that you upload. Right now, we don't do any sort of training on customer data or anything like that. Most people, I guess it's kind of like split. Like some people will explicitly want to make sure their data is deleted, and we do that for them. But yeah, as of now, we don't do any training on specific customer data. And then, sorry, what was your second question?
How far are you on the virtual try-on side of the, is it available for public use on the virtual try-on product or the feature? Is it a different product or is it the same product? How far are you in that journey? Can we try it today?
Yeah, so the AI Headshots product, that is available for consumer use today. The Photo Studio product, which includes the virtual try-on, we're onboarding people on a case-by-case basis. And yeah, I think the photo studio product is meant more for like marketing teams and larger companies. But we might actually release like a consumer version of the product as well. But I think there's like different considerations around like safe use of the model and so on. And so we want to make sure that people are using it responsibly. And then your third question was, can we do full body pictures? So yes, we can. I think that as of now, most people, so I guess with the consumer product, which is like our most popular product, people are using that for headshots. And so I guess most of the language on our website is kind of focused on the headshots so we can cater to the consumer interest. But for the studio product, no, you can do full body pictures as well with, hands with the right number of fingers and so on.
Thanks. Thank you for presenting. Building off of the last question, it looks so far like the mapping points are mainly focused on facial features, hair, although I've seen some differences in the hair. But like in this example, the body's identical. So maybe if you could say more about how far along you are in being able to recreate someone's body, and are you just sort of making up if someone was portrait like down to the waist, is that part of the body just made up? Or behind the scenes, am I not seeing that maybe a customer uploaded shots that included their body?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, I guess in this particular example, the body type was pretty similar between the input and the example image. We haven't really done too many like side-by-side studies yet of like the different, like if you have a reference image with one particular body type and an example model with a different body type, like how does that kind of work yet? So I think that's definitely, I think that's a great point and something that we would want to look into.
Yeah, so to clarify, so far the likeness is about the facial features in the hair. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, well, I do think we can get body types correct in general. I think your specific question of like what happens if the reference photo has a different body type, I think, the AI can, the AI could produce like a range of outputs there, and we would want someone to maybe go in and pick the ones that looked closest to the body type. But I think maybe, what are some examples? Yeah, like I feel like with Shervin, it definitely got his body type pretty accurately, and he uploaded kind of like, I believe he uploaded like kind of half body shots and face images. So, yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
Hi, I just had some questions in regards to what you're saying is consumer versus studio or whatever. Like there's a lot of examples of people putting in, like you show one picture, did he put in like 5 and then were there prompts for all these along the way, or is it a little more attempting to be more seamless, or what is the difference between that and then what you showed at the end, which was what you called a consumer product?
Oh yeah, so the consumer product at the end is, it's actually just for professional headshots. So a lot of people, they want to update their personal website or their LinkedIn, and they just want like a professional headshot of themselves. And yeah, they're not really looking to do virtual try-on or anything like that. The studio product that I was talking about earlier, that's really more for marketing teams and just into people who would want to create specific brand aesthetics. And so for the studio product, that's where someone with a little bit more creative direction would go in and put in a prompt or a reference image and create photos that look like what they want. But with the consumer product, like consumers don't want to do any of that. They just want professional headshots of themselves. And so that's kind of what's on the slide over here. Yeah. So it's the same exact tech, and it's like, a segment of the original.
So once we have the images, do we have full ownership and permission to take it further, upscale it, and perhaps improve it beyond that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dreamwave does not own any of the images that you create. So it's all yours.
What is the highest resolution that you can output?
Right now, 1024 by 1024 pixels. And yeah, we're working on getting even higher resolution photos.
Okay. And then I guess my last question is, like, if you can say how much of the development you did is all in-house or based on open source tech?
Yeah, so we actually trained our own diffusion model. We don't use Stable Diffusion or other open source models. I think, yeah, like our initial experiments with Stable Diffusion, like we just saw a ton of AI artifacts in the images. But yeah, so this is our own diffusion model that we trained.
Hi, my name is Pavel. I have a question. It seems like your tool is perfect for use in deepfake production. So are you prepared? Are you familiar with current policy? And have you any issues with authorities or any issues? How to leverage this concern?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it's definitely a topic that I've thought a lot about. I think deploying AI models in a safe and ethical way is core to what we do at Dreamwave, which is like another reason why for our studio product is kind of, you know, we talk to people one by one to onboard them onto the product. Like we don't want people, you know, using it for, I don't know, yeah, deep fakes or political imagery and so on. Like we really want to make sure we understand everyone's use cases. And I think kind of just like the broader point here is like I think we are at a inflection point of technology, and in like, throughout history there's always been these like major inflection points like the internet and social media, and now it's AI. And I think anytime you kind of have this new wave of technology, it can be used for terrible things and it can be used for, you know, amazing, like, productive use cases. And yeah, and at Dreamwave, we definitely want to be on the right side of history. And so we're really trying to make sure that people are using our models in an ethical and safe way.
So there is no protection. I can, for example, create any deepfakes using famous celebrities, etc., and no bans from your side. Yeah?
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be doing that because we will be onboarding people one by one. So we'll be seeing, you know, we'll be like looking at the use case that you're trying to use Dreamwave for. You know, if your goal is to kind of make deep fakes of celebrities, like we can't accept you to the platform. So, yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Harini, what use case or ideal customer profile, what are you most excited about when in bringing to the enterprise stage with Dreamwave?
Yeah, I think for enterprise customers, we've had so much interest just from in-house brand and marketing teams, and just being able to save folks a lot of time and you know, marketing budget as well. So I kind of think the first wave of use cases is going to be the ad creatives and social media content that I was talking about earlier. So, you know, a dress and being able to generate multiple ad creatives of that single dress for Instagram or other forms of ad creatives. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks so much. Let's give Harini a round of applause. Thanks very much, Harini. And Harini will be here for networking, so please come say hi in just a moment with any more follow-up questions. And what else? Just a few announcements before we get going. If you want to show your support, you had a good time tonight, please follow us on LinkedIn or Twitter. And what else? If you would like to present here, please get in touch with me. All our events are listed on the meetup page. So SFAI user group, you can see all our upcoming events. For example, we will do AI for marketers once again, just like tonight, 3 speakers in 4 weeks on April 17th. So all those talks are posted right now. So take a look, see if you're interested, and come join us again. We'll do exactly the same thing in 4 weeks. What else? AI for Designers is next week. All the speakers are posted. So that's March 27th. Once again, they're all on the meetup page. Take a look. If you're into it, we'd love to see you again. And we'll do AI for Developers in 2 weeks on April 3rd. What else? One final announcement from me before we start open mic and then networking. I mentioned this earlier, but in case you missed it, and LinkedIn as well, pay attention. We're looking for someone to fill a sponsorship sales role at AI User Group. So if you're interested, get in touch with Eileen. Eileen's email is right here, eileen@bemyapp.com. So you or a friend, anyone who's interested, please get in touch. What else? Let's start open mic. For those of you who have been here before, you know what this is. If you haven't, just come on up exactly where I'm standing. It's a good way. We have a few minutes before pizza. Kick off networking, introduce yourself to everyone, and come say hello. And there's no line, so make a queue and come on up. Some examples of great announcements are job openings, like the one I just did, or just say hi, or looking for a job is okay too. Startup ideas, product announcements, consulting opportunities. LinkedIn's right here too, so come on up. Look at this. This is how it's done. Donovan.
Hey, my name is Donovan, and I'm the principal product marketer for Pickaxe. At a high level, Pickaxe allows you to create no-code AI tools. And one of our biggest announcements is that we're actually working on a way where you can monetize these AI tools. So if you definitely want to check it out and really get some early access, just definitely talk to me. Definitely open for networking as well too. Or if you just want to chat anything that isn't AI, definitely just chat. So we're super excited to really just get the whole release propped up.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Donovan. That was a perfect open mic announcement. Who's next?
Hi, my name is Shubham. I'm a senior data engineer at Asana. My team is opening at a EDI data engineering manager role. It's not the marketing, but it's on the sales side. But just FYI, we do have a bunch of marketing roles open as well at Asana. So if anyone is interested, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.
Okay, come on up. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Vinayak. I'm the co-founder of a startup called Stackit. We help you basically automate your Google Sheets reports that you create there. So if you're spending a lot of time exporting CSVs from different tools like HubSpot or LinkedIn ads or Google ads and bringing it to Google Sheets, we can help you automate all of that. So that's what Stackit does. And yeah, so we have an opening for a marketing role as well. If I'm going to be around, if you're looking to, looking for a role, let me know. Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca from Opus Clip. You might have heard of us. We are an AI company that uses AI to turn long-form videos into short videos. We're one of the fastest growing AI startups right now. I'm currently looking for content specialists, so if you know anyone who are great at content, please reach out to me. I'm also looking for great people who are extremely good at business development as consultants. So if you know anyone, also feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. Oh, I'm also looking forward to having an opportunity to demo one day.
Thanks, Rebecca. No, I appreciate it. That is a great announcement. Anyone else with an announcement? Okay. Well, here's my clicker. And that's it. Thank you so much for attending. If you'd like to get in touch with me, that's my email. Appreciate you. And we'll do some networking. Let's build community and get to know each other. If you want to make an open mic announcement, it's got to be like right here. You got to be right here. Guys, hold. One more. It's got to be quick. 15 seconds. Shohei.
Hello, everyone. Sorry to hold you. Yeah, I'm actually looking for a job right now. I studied AI. I'm from South Korea. I studied AI, and I have worked as a marketer, as a brand major in mostly FMCG industry, like Procter & Gamble and L'Oreal. And I'm actually trying to pivot to tech industry. And so I'm looking for marketing in tech industry. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Shohei. Okay, that's a great announcement. And let's do some networking, get to know each other, introduce ourselves to each other, and enjoy some pizza. Thanks very much.